from Spain, even though Spain, I don't know the other where they come from, but I know that you're from US as well. See someone from logging from US. And I'm very, very excited for today's call because this is our first call of the year 2016, and just right the call before our super mega webinar call for tomorrow. So I'm super excited, and I am also super excited to have our trainer presenter for today, and his name is Marshall Nguyen. He is our very first USA ambassador of GWT, and I can't wait to meet this guy. He's going to be here in Europe this coming February, so stay tuned for more of the details there. He is one of our Elite Leadership Award winner, and he was also featured in businessforum.org. And now, because he is now currently working hand in hand with our Europe market, so that we can expand and help a lot of people expand GWT business here in Europe, help a lot of European lives, and help change their lives. So now we are going to have the forensic call presented by our ambassador, Marshall Nguyen. So, Marshall, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Could you hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear. So before we start, just also want to introduce you our regional ambassador, Maria Gaderi, that is also on the line. He is our he is our youngest regional ambassador in GWT. She's traveling all over the world, and she was just here a few months ago, stayed here for 3 months in Barcelona. She's the one who's responsible in opening the European market, and she's also going to be here in Europe in February together with Ambassador Marshall. So, Maria, are on the line?
Absolutely, Christine. I wouldn't miss this call for anything. I'm so excited. Happy New Year, everybody. We're starting this year strong. I'm really, really excited to start the year with forensic call. We're gonna have a forensic year this year. We are going to create many $10,000 per month income earners. We're going to create many regional ambassadors, many national ambassadors. We are going to have, by the end of this year, we are going to have a team of you on this call. We're gonna be traveling the world and enjoying the residual income, the free lifestyle of GWT. Just stick to this call every week, and I promise you, just do what this call says, stick to this calls, and you are going to be on that private airplane traveling around the world with the CEO and vice president and the other top leaders. I'm really excited to start this year with forensic calls. So I'm excited to hear about forensic upline today from our super ambassador from United States. I can't wait, Marshall.
Awesome. So let's get started. The floor is yours, Ambassador Marshall.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Christine and Maria, for the awesome introduction and sharing a little bit. Could you guys see my screen? Okay.
We can see it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, just want to wish you guys an amazing, happy 2016. I hope you guys spent it well with your friends and family and loved ones for sure. So let's get everything started. I'm super excited to share you guys the forensic upline, and this is coming through my experience as well. So the great thing is that you can have different types of experience building your business by different eyes. So whatever that I hope you guys could get some value out of this today, and see what I've done or what Christine done or Maria's done in the past, and being a forensic upline to help you guys build your fantastic global Wall Street business. So let's get started. So the forensic upline, right? Ramin says most simply don't know how to lead when they are placed in a position of leadership. So our goal today is to help you take responsibility for your business, because you never know when your business is just going to blow up, and that you have to take the leadership role, right? And that's the true beauty about our company, is that when it grows, hey, you better stick on, you better put your foot on the pedal. And these are the teachings of our amazing CEO that's built teams of over 100,000 people. And through his personal experience and how he became successful, he's sharing it to us now. So let's get started. So the first part of the forensic upline is stay a distributor and not a manager, right? We have to stay a soldier and not a person on company's payroll. And what this means is that we have to take responsibility for our own business. Remember, we are in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. Our primary goal is to utilize this business as our own business, and the company is the ones that are actually backing us up by paying us, by creating amazing, gorgeous products and take care of the client care. But also, we have to take care of our care as well, right? Because there's a myth, right, in the industry. So the industry myth is that once a distributor has enrolled a new member into their business and is the company's sole responsibility to take over and provide all the client care, this is incorrect. Remember, you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So there has to be responsibility in everything that you do to have the type of business that you want. Okay. And essentially, both you and the company have the same kind, clear responsibilities, but the person bringing in the business is us, the distributors, the LC. So we must take care of our clients very, very well. So, and the reason why we do that is because the company has thousands of people that they have to take care of, even millions, right? So they have to deal with important matters that are out of our control, and they are not there to train us or the team. It's basic product information. That's all they do, and we take care of the rest. Okay. And one of the questions that we have to ask ourselves is if all my distributors did what I did today, this week, this month, and what type of business would I have? Right? So again, it goes back to taking responsibility in your business. And if the response is good, you are on the correct pathway. If your response is not a positive, we might need to take some changes, look at some changes, because the lifeblood of our organization is the new blood. Okay, so again, stay a distributor and not a manager. So continue to constantly build your business, launch new VDMs each and every single week. And also, Maria, if you have to add on to anything, please feel free to.
Marshall, you're doing amazing. Basically, everything you said is 100% right. In order to build a business, you cannot expect people to launch VDMs and asking them why my team is not growing when you haven't done your job this week. So you always have to ask yourself, how many VDMs I personally launch, how many tours I've done, and if you haven't done your job, you cannot have expectation of your team to do it. Your team always do whatever you do 10 times worse. So if you want your team to do good, you should be doing 10 times better than them. Back to you.
Absolutely. Lead by example, right? So the second part of the forensic upline is always be accessible by phone. Be flexible to conduct and attend tours and trainings. And I'm so proud of you guys because you guys are a part of this training right now, and you because of the great technology, you've been able to plug yourself in to this training from all around the world, right? And when I got started, Lior said something to me that was very profound. He said, "You know what? I'm going to be available 25 hours a day, 8 days a week." And when I asked him, "Where did you get the extra hour and the extra day?" he said to me, "That happens when you retire." Right? So it's amazing with our culture, our No Members Left Behind, our My Five support team. You have accessibility to your support team. And if your support team is accessible, which means you have to be accessible for your team as well, right? And and as long as your team is putting in new LCs, always remember you are still a soldier of the field, building your future, your income, and your dreams, right? And if your phone is not ringing, if your Facebook message is not going off, you should be worried. It means that your team has not duplicated what you have. Okay, so you got to make sure that you always be accessible for your team and continuously build your global world trade business.
Marshall, this is a very important part of this business. If your phone is not ringing, if you're not available to people, you cannot expect to have a growing business. I would like to acknowledge a few people on this call who are doing that, who are leading by example. One person is, of course, yourself. How do I know if you're available to your team or not? If you answer your upline's message right away, if I message you and you message me back right away, that just tells me that that's how you answer your downline. So you're available to your downline. But if I have to send a message to you 10 times and it takes 2, 3 weeks in order for me to hear back from you, I know that's how you answer your downline. That's how you answer your team members. So there are a few people on this call that are really, really good with that, and they answer instantly, regardless of what time it is in their time zone. One is, of course, Christine. This girl is amazing. Sometimes when I send her a message, I'm not even sure if she's awake. It's because it's I know it's like 5 a.m. in Germany or 3 a.m. in Germany. As soon as I send the message, it doesn't go 30 minutes. She answered right away. So that's a person that I know she's available when her prospect call her, message her, when her team members message her, when the corporate message her, when there is something that needs to be taken care and be managed, she's available to take care of it. The other person is, of course, Marshall. As soon as I message her, again, it doesn't go half an hour. He answered right away, and I know that's how he answered his team members. His team members don't have to wait for hours and days and weeks in order to hear back from him. There are few people, I know Marysville is like that too. There are few people who are really good at answering. I know a few times I had conversation with diplomat Andrew. He's been very strong and fast. There are LCs like Cheryl or Shirley in Italy. There are LCs like Ranila. These guys are fast with answering their messages. So you got to be really strong with that point, because if you're not available to your team, guess what's going to happen? Even if you have stars in your team and you're not available to support them and hold them up when they need you, they're going to die out. They're going to leave, they're going to quit, and they're going to go and join somebody else because you're not available. You're not there to help them to build a business. Back to you, Marshall.
That's amazing that you mentioned that. It's the type of mindset that we have to have is that our LCs are our clients, right? Just as Ramin says, as a forensic upline, your team is basically your clients. So if you, for example, if you own a traditional business, are you going to get back to your customer, a few days from now, 30 days from now? If you're available, it's important for you to answer the questions right away, so your team can get the necessary information to them, because again, it's all about communicating, right? And definitely thank you very much for sharing that, Maria. And our next slide, let's go to the word is be efficient. Okay. uh, Actually, I apologize, I accidentally deleted this next part called being efficient. So let's talk about being efficient. Okay. I made a mistake about doing this business where I always want to pour fire on the ones that need it, right? That's one of the mistakes I did at the beginning of my business, and then when I started to transform over to working with the ones that want it and not the ones who need it, it definitely made my business to it took my business to another level, because the people that want it are the ones that brings the excitement. Not only that, the ambition to get work done. So as Ramin says, you know what? Look for the sparks in your organization, and when you find them, pour gasoline all over them, right? And set them on fire. Because if that's your spark, you want to make sure that they get all the necessary support, and also helping them do tours and trainings for their team. Because at the end of the day, that's your team as well, right? And you want to keep on pouring gasoline until they become an inferno. Go out there and put your LCs, your team on fire, because what it's going to do is it's going to create so much noise within the organization. It's going to motivate them. It's going to inspire them. Not only it's going to inspire them, people look at them being feeling they're inspired for themselves, right? Because you're creating so much noise. And when and you might be asking, what is the gasoline, right? So the gasoline is your communication tool for instilling in them a sense of urgency and creating an order of priority in your new distributor's mind. And again, this business is fast, right? You want to make sure you give them a sense of urgency to get work done. And when you pour the gasoline on the fire, it's going to create even more of a bigger urgency. And never forget that the personal team perceive the business through you. So again, this goes back to you lead by example. The way you view the business, the way you do things, they see that through you, and they are going to duplicate what you do, good or bad. So you want to make sure that when this happens, you want to make sure that you have a good pace of duplication. A month, the same. Next day or the same day. So the next 48 hours is a key to establish the sense of urgency of getting to work. If you're able to still work in your team, they're definitely going to that's going to create a culture within your organization. And being efficient, work with the ones who want it and not the ones who need it. And the next slide talks about do not ignore your old sparks. 80% of your income will eventually come from 2 to 4 people, right? And the common mistake that many distributor makes is that they leave the older sparks to do it on their own, which is why they generally fizzle out so fast, because you don't want to ignore your old sparks. Those are the people that really brought your business from A to B, right? And then if they're bringing up your business, you're working with the people that want it, and they're bringing volume for you. You got to make sure that you will never ignore them, because first of all, they might be your first, second, third, or even fourth or fifth generation, right? And again, it doesn't matter what generation they're in within your organization. If they are in your organization, make sure to continue to pour the gasoline on the fire. So as Ramin says, again, like 80% of your income will eventually come between 2 to 4 people. So never ignore any spark, because they maybe become the next spark that will replace 2,000 LCs on your printout, right? And that's something that we never know. So always be mindful of the people that you are in business with, and especially if they are on your team. Next slide. Continue to sponsor personally, but do not forget about the pillars of your business. Like, this is really essential, because most people, they get, if you look at the Forensic Networker, he talks about the different 8 categories of distributorship, and this is something that we can talk about later on another call. Is that when sometimes if we get into the manager syndrome, we forget to sponsor person for our team, right? And we expect our team to do so, but that's not going to work, right? We must follow something called the Forensic 70-30 rule, which is another different chapter of the forensic, and this is something that we will definitely go over next time. So again, the life long term of your business is the new blood that joins your organization. So if you want your team to blow up, to sponsor, right, you make sure that you sponsor yourself and you lead by example, because again, what you do, they will copy, good or bad. And Maria, if you have anything, please make sure you can just jump in, okay?
We spoke about the pillars of the business. I believe it was last week. I don't know if you remember or if Christine remember. Christine, do you remember the pillars of the business?
I think that was 2 weeks ago.
Yes. So there was 4 pillars of the business. If you remember, and you could talk about them quickly.
What do you mean, Maria? As we have already also trained about the forensic outline, or just mental warrior?
I believe it was in Mental Warriors.
Hello?
Okay.
Maria?
Yeah.
Marshall?
Yes. I'm
Can
here.
you hear me?
Yes, 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 we can.
Okay, Marshall, you can continue. I have the pillars and on my phone. I'm gonna find them and then I'm gonna share with you guys.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, I look forward to hearing that again. So, and the next part of being a forensic upline, right? Never entertain negativity from your team members, right? I've seen this in the past, and it's never a good thing. We have to always remember that negativity goes up, positivity goes down. What I mean by goes up is that if there's any type of concerns that you have, the only people you should bring up your concerns is your My Five, your support team, because they are going to have the answer to what you are concerning about, right? And again, if you know, to me, it's super common sense because your organization, which is your downlines, right? They are the ones that bring in the volume, right? When you contain them with negativity, um, first of all they don't want to hear it, right? Second of all, they're trying to build their business, and if you're coming in with bad energy or whatever, it's going to create them bad energy for themselves, which might demotivate them or start questioning certain things that should not even be questioned in the first place because it might not even be accurate. So whatever type of negativity that you have within your business, right, or any concern, I wouldn't even call it negativity, like concerns, let's say, right, and keep in mind, concerns are not a bad thing. Make sure that the only people that should know about your concerns is your My Five, not your downline, right? And the reason why is because your team gets their confidence through you, your attitude, that's the most important part, right? And confidence and strength. So if you show weakness, they will slow down and many times just quit. And that's true, right? Why do people want to, for me, I never want to be a part with anyone that's negative, right? And I'm very fortunate that my uplines are always positive, right? I'm not sure what they go through, but if they do go through something, I'm sure they don't tell me, right? It goes up to their support team, right? And again, it's business, and it's normal to have those days, but we have to make sure and be mindful that we are are asking the concerns to the right people, okay? Which is your upline, right? And
Remember,
yes.
remember, Marshall, when Leo says, when you're halt, don't go to your downline. Hungry, angry, lonely. What was there was another one.
Tired.
When you're those and tired, exactly. When you're feeling those four, when you have those four feelings, do not go to your downline, do not go to your prospect. And when you have those feelings, take care of them or go to your upline and talk to your upline about it. And when those feelings are removed and you're excited, you're enthusiasm, you're on fire, then go pick up the phone, call your downline.
Yeah, that's true. That's right, right? And also Remy always, also talked about in the Friends and Networker is that if this is life, right? Sometimes we're just gonna be negative, right? And if you get negative, I'm talking about you, right? The people are hearing this call. If you get negative, make sure that you do not pass it on to your team. It's the most self-destructing thing you can do to your business. And again, the golden rule is negativity goes up and positivity goes down, right? And our job as a luxury consultant, as a distributor of your team, is to listen to concerns and to provide support and assistance. That's all we have to do, right? And our job is to do not ever join the pity party, right? If somebody's being negative about something, don't join the pity party. Just listen and make sure you are able to get the concern answered and move on, right? And again, like I mentioned before, concerns are not negative. Justified concerns are not destructive and can be neutralized very fast. So next part of the slide, build your business through third party influence. And I can't explain enough to you guys how important this is, right? You have to know all the high powered uplines that has established a good, strong working relationship with all of them and has similar relationships with your team and other team members. And this is one thing that I love about global wealth trade, and that one thing that we stand out from different companies is the My5 support system. And this is basically your third party credibility, right? You have to make sure that when I first spoke to Ozzy Dress, which is one of my diplomats about global world trade. We've been best friends since the sixth grade, right? And we know things about each other. We joke around all the time, and sometimes we can't take each other seriously, right? So then I had to make sure that when I showed Ozzy this opportunity, I had to make sure that he's hearing this from somebody other than myself, because third party credibility is unbiased, right? And it shows it puts your prospect in a different mindset as well when you have a third party credibility, because it's not because of what I said, it's because of what other people are saying about the opportunity, um, uh, about global world trade. So you have to make sure that you always use third party influences, which is your My5. And also, if you're shown a business opportunity, which is a third party credibilities, and which is the award and the accolades the company has established for our business, right? And the second part I mentioned is having similar relations with your team and other teams. One of the great benefits that you're going to have is that when you start to utilize your downline for third party influence, right? There's strength that I see in my team member that I know that I lack of, and that's when I utilize them to help me with one of my prospects. And again, what that does is that it shows that, you know what, you are not the only one that has all the power. Your team is the one that has the power. They complement you on what you do and the lifestyle that you live. So it's amazing when you start to utilize your downlines to do three-way calls, and bring them to a meeting that you know that their prospect can definitely connect much better with, right? And also other team members, right? I've utilized so many of my cross lines in our business, and the true beauty is that they have no benefit towards it, right? And that's the type of culture that our company has, is that no members left behind. So regardless, if you know if there's a benefit for me, for example, if me and Maria were on different teams, just the fact that I respect her so much that and what she has done, I would definitely go to her, but hey, can you help me with one of my prospects? Even though there's no benefit, I know that she would help. I know Christine would help me as well, even if we have no relation of benefits, right? And that's the culture of global wall trade: is no members left behind, and make sure to utilize your third party influence, because it's definitely gonna bring you a long way. Trust me.
Before you move on, Marshall, I would like to quickly take this section of forensic to talk about something. You brought it up very really good. It's very important for you to utilize your downline, your upline, work with them. You want to have a great relationship with your downline and upline, and always be available to your downline to support them. Your job is to support them and help them and address their concern if you know what you're doing. If you don't know how to handle the concern, connect them right away to the upline. However, there is a thing that we have to be aware of it, that there are sometimes there are people in every company, every family, everywhere. There are people who are negative. It doesn't matter what they enter, they always look for negativity, and they always look for things to complain about. Now, when you come across those people, how do you handle them? I specifically want to talk about this because when we tell you to go and build relationship with people in other teams, you might come across people who like to gossip, and they like to talk about negative stuff and criticize the company, the product, the leadership. How do you handle that? I specifically I want to talk about this because we actually had to deal with this. Was that 2 weeks ago? Actually, one of the people fortunately came and told us that she's been helping to build relationship with other team members and supporting them in the city. But one of the team members in another team been complaining and having lots of concerns and unloading their negativity on this LC, and they are not even in the same team. So my response was, First of all, you did great to bring it to your upline. So as soon as you hear somebody that is not in your team or even in your team has a concern or complaint and they're negative, your job is number one to bring it to your upline as soon as possible. Your upline needs to know the people who are unhappy, the clients who are unhappy, so we can take a look at the areas that they're unhappy. We can either fix it, resolve it, and address it. So the reason you want to bring it to us, because we don't want this negativity to get spread around and without getting resolved. So bring it to the My5, and then most of the time, as soon as you bring it to the My5, it's done because your My5 can take care of it. They can resolve it. They can address it. They can help the person who has a problem or has a concern, help the person to get their concerns resolved. So also what I said to the member, and I'm going to tell everybody on this call, I recommend you to do not participate in the future negative conversations and complaints of any LC. So do not participate. It's your downline. There's one thing that your downline is complaining and they have a concern. You have to take care of it. You have to connect them to the upline. You have to try to concern and to address and resolve the situation. But when it's somebody else's team, it's absolutely not your responsibility. Okay, it's not your responsibility to deal, resolve, or explain anything that has to do with sideline. So if a sideline, somebody that's not in your downline, come and complain, they have an issue, they have problem, it's not your responsibility to deal with it, to explain it, or to resolve it. Okay, they need to deal with their own concern with their My5. Okay, with their own My5. So your job is to bring it to your My5. We will find that person's My5 and we will have them to resolve their downlines problems. Okay, so the only reason I want you to understand the reason for this. The only reason they bring their issues to you, not to their own upline My5, is because they don't want it to be resolved. That's the only reason they bring it to you. They don't talk to their upline about it. They just don't want the problem to be resolved. They like to gossip and spread negativity that at the end of the day it's harming you at the most. It's harm you, your team, your mindset. It create doubt. It create negativity. It harmed the company. It harmed the company's reputation, the leadership, and it slowed down their business, your business, and the company, okay, and the family. So you gotta be a soldier in the field. When you hear people talk negative, they are trying to spread negativity. Tell the person, have you talked to your My5? I'm not going to listen to you. I'm requesting you to go ahead and talk to your My5 and get this problem resolved. Then go to your own My5 and tell your My5 that there's X person who has this issue, and maybe you want to take a look at it because this issue and this negativity is getting spreaded, and it's harming the company and harming the community. So that's what I wanted to share because it's very, very important when people entered, especially this happened a lot with new members. They just come from outside, they come from the job board, they don't know the culture, and when they have a problem, they don't know that they have to go to their My5, and they start talking to everybody else but their My5. And sometimes problems become the breaking telephone, and that become bigger than what it is. And then it just spread negativity. So your job as a consultant who's serious to build this business is to protect your team, your business, and also the company if you want your business and the company last. So you have to right away, you need to know what you need to do, and you don't participate, you don't get involved, you just get to your upline and tell the person to deal with their problems with their own My5. Back to you, Marsha.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Maria. And that's very important again, right? Remember, we are in the people business. Whatever we say, whatever we do, everybody's watching. And somehow, good or bad, they will get influenced through that. So if you create that within the great culture within your team, you shouldn't be worried. So, so again, thank you very much, Maria, for sharing that. So the next slide is become a forensic storyteller, and and Maria's helped me made for me, I was never a pretty good storyteller until I met Maria and watched what my uplines do, right? And again, we have to remember that we are all highly paid storytellers, and the better you tell the story, the more money you are going to make. And if you want to learn how to tell your story, there is a chapter in the Forensic Network that's going to teach you how to do so. And if you need more support in that, you can also make sure to ask your My Five, right? And one thing that there is a common denominator when you look at all the top earners in our industry of network marketing, right? And the common denominator is that they are considered great speakers, not only because what they have learned how to tell is because they have learned how to tell their stories very effectively. The skill becomes vital on three-way calls and prospects in presentations and trainings because everybody can, a story. What it does is that it helps you it helps your prospects relate to you, right? If we give information, too much information, it doesn't merge, it doesn't marry those two connections together. But if you're able to tell a great story in your, why you got started, why global wealth trade and what it has done for you, right? You start to create a connection with your prospect that's going to help them, influence them to take this next step in pursuing their dreams and goals, which is launching their VDM. So become a forensic storyteller. And Maria, do you have anything to share with this?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is past 8 years. I went up and studied. I started with the business, and then I started to go and read the most, what is it? What do you want to call the most complicated trainings, learning about how to use search engine and how to get the human psychology. You call it, take courses, go through different things. I wanted to find the secret. What's the secret to be successful? Why some people in the network marketing industry and in GWT make a lot of money, and some people they work so hard and regardless of how they do it, but they still don't get to make it. I thought the secret is very complicated. It's a quantum physics, and the more I study after 7-8 years, the more I realize it's very, very simple. It's very simple. The secret is you get to inspire people, and one of the first keys that gives you one of the first thing that gives you the key to inspire people is your own story. It's very simple, right? So your story is the most important thing. I mean, when you join the business, from the beginning, we say our intention is to help you create your story as soon as possible. That's the first thing I look into. As soon as I launch a new VDM, the first thing I say, you got to do X and B, X and Y, and my intention is to help you create your success story in your first week right away, because your story is what sells the business, because it's your story that people inspire. The reason I'm in GWT right now, because I was inspired by somebody's story. Okay, I watched Lior's story. I heard Ramin's story, how he went from a 19 years old pizza working in a pizza store to become a self-made millionaire at age 25. So that story inspired me. Lior's story of never being in the industry, being in IT, travel and then join us for marketing industry, join GWT, and literally in his first 10 months, he started making $10,000 per month and start traveling the world, and watching his Facebook pictures traveling all around the world inspired me to join GWT. The reason each and every one of you in this company and you're in this call is because you're inspired by somebody's story. Now, it's your turn to inspire other people by your story. And you might say, well, I haven't made that much money yet, I haven't traveled the world yet. It's not about that. It's not about you create the result and then inspire people. No, it's about from the beginning, your intention is to create the story. So how do you create story? Write it down on a piece of pen and paper. If you have on a piece of paper, write it down. How do you write your story? How do you tell your story? Answer these questions. When did you join? Who introduced you to GWT? And what is your background? What were you doing or you're still doing beside GWT business? What is your job? What is your business? What kind of background you're coming from? Are you a doctor? Are you an engineer? Are you a nurse? Are you a maid? Are you a worker? Are you working in the office? Are you a construction worker? Any of those, doesn't matter. Are you a student? So write down who introduced you, when did you join GWT, and I want the date and the month, and what kind of background you have. The second question is, why did you join Global World Trade? And the why cannot be because Marshall was a good-looking guy, so I decided to join. It cannot be because Kristen was speaking really nice and I got excited. It cannot be because products were very beautiful. It cannot be because the compensation made sense. No, none of those. The why is, what do you want this company to do for your life? Financial freedom, traveling the world, helping my parents to get retired, paying off my debt, I don't know, helping my children to get to go to a better school, create the lifestyle for my children, those things. That has nothing to do with the company, but the reasons you start looking for another stream of income. Why did you join Global World Trade? Write down three reasons why you joined. The next question is, so I want you to answer these questions later, but right now, just write down the questions. The next question is, what has happened since you joined? And the answer could be something like, I launched my VDM as a retailer, then I upgraded to silver and I got $500 shopping spree, or I upgraded to diamond and I got $6,000 or $10,000 shopping spree, and in my first 24 hours I made $50. Something like that. It doesn't have to be, oh, I joined and I made $10,000. No, simple, typical, average, what you actually made, the truth, right? And so what happened? Or it could be like, I was wearing one of the fairy or posh earrings and in the party, and somebody asked me how beautiful it was. So any product testimonial, any business testimonial, how many business your team, how many countries your team expanded. It could be something like, I just got myself positioned, and the next day my upline put somebody in my team from Switzerland, something like that. So those kind of stuff. And then I don't want you to write down, I made $10,000. Yes, write it down if you made it, but that's not the point. People don't care how much money you made. People don't care how much money you have in your bank account. You know what they care? They care, what is your vision? Where are you going to be in the next 6 months, and in the next year, and in the next 2 years? That's, people join your vision. So the next question you want to write down is, what is your vision? Your short term, in the next 6 months to a year, how much money, what you want to make, where you're going to be, how your business going to be, your targets and promises for the next 6 months to a year, and and that's the short term. And then the long term, your targets and your promises in the next 3 to 5 years. So the next 6 months to a year could be something like, I'm looking forward to help 10 people to retire from their jobs in the year of 2000. My promise in the year of 2016 is to help 10 people or 5 people, to help them make an extra $500 per month, right? I'm looking forward to make 3,000 euro or 5,000 euro per month by the end of 2016, so I can go full-time in GWT. I'm looking forward to become ambassador by X month, by Y month. So that's your short term. And then long term, in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to be traveling the world. We're going to expand to Philippines. We're going to expand to Nigeria. We're going to expand to Australia. We're going to take over the entire world. I'm going to have my team in 30 countries. People join your vision. People join where you're going to be in the next 6 months to in the next year, in the next 5 years. They do not join your bank account. They don't care how much money you made and how much money are in your bank account right now. They care, what is your vision, what is your commitment, how committed you are to that vision, what is your vision in the next 3 to 5 years. When I joined GWT, I was looking at Lior for 6 months. I was watching how serious this person is. I didn't want to join someone who just came here to play the lottery ticket. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, he'll leave the company, and then I'm on my own. I wanted to join a serious person who's serious in this business. That's what most people are looking for, at least people who are serious for the business. They're looking. Some people are coming and asking me 6 months or a year after, are you still in GWT? Yes. Okay, great. Now I'm ready to join. They want to make sure I am serious with GWT. People join your commitment, people join your vision, people do not join your bank account and what you already accomplished. Okay? So write down your story, answer those questions, write down your story. If it's 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, who cares? Write it down. Write it down so you get clear. Send it to me. Send it to me. Email it to me at maria.gideri@gmail.com or send me on Facebook. I will edit it for you. I will work on it for you. I'll send it back to you. So you have an inspiring story to tell to people. And with your inspiring story, you can inspire many to join GWT and build a business with you. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you for definitely sharing that, guys. I hope you guys took notes on that because, again, right, we are highly paid storytellers, and Maria just showed you the blueprint to how to write an amazing story for yourself, right? That's gonna give people the vision, give people the inspiration for them to know that what this business can do for them, and that's the most important thing because we know what this business can do for us, but it's important that we can tell people what it can do for them, and they will start to see that for themselves. So the next slide that I'm going to talk about is never compete with your team for the same prospects, right? And with the old saying, it says, "Give enough people what they want, and you always get what you want." And I can't comprehend how powerful this is, right? If the world lives this type of way, imagine how peaceful it's going to be, how much love it's going to be, how much success it's going to have, right? And that's the true beauty about this sentence is because we are in the people business. In order for me to become successful, in order for you to become successful, you have to help others do the same. And in return, we will win by default. Keep in mind, we will win by default. Okay. And and this talks about when Ramin talks about never compete with your team for the same prospects, and he talks about like if you are, for example, right? What I mean by this is that with your downlines or whatever, and a good example is if you are traveling somewhere with your team member and you guys meet a prospect together, regardless of who made the approach, is it's in good tasting to pass along to your team members, providing they are active in building the team members, right? So make sure when you pass along a potential prospect, your LC is currently active building the business, not give it to somebody that is inactive, that is not building the business. Because what that does is that, common sense, right? You want to make sure that you're again pouring more fuel on the fire. When I'm with my team, for dinner or when we're at the mall or whenever there's a type of prospect that's there, I always majority of the time I give it to them, right? If they are active, because because they know how to take care of the LC, they know how to do the tours, they know how to make sure that the prospect, if they launch, they know how to take care of their new luxury consultant. Okay. And the next slide we want to talk about is protect your credibility by doing the right things. And I can't explain to you guys how important this is, right? Remember the saying that goes, it's easy to trust somebody. You could trust me for years and years and years, but the one mistake that they make, right, you lose that trust. So you definitely want to make sure your credibility goes a long way. Whatever you do now, if you have good or bad ethics, it's going to um, uh, help you or not help you in the future because your reputation is on the line. When you're part of a business, people want to make sure that they are in good business with a person that has great ethics, right? And if they see that this person has great ethics and they continue the great ethics, they will make sure that they will be in business with you long term. But if they see, this person might not be trustworthy, I'm not sure. And if they see that, they can tell other people, right? So you want to make sure that you protect your credibility. and make sure that you take care of your team, because when you take care of your team, what that does is that it enhances your credibility, that saying, you know what, this guy or this gal knows how to build their business. They take care of their team so well. They support the team always, and and that they're helping their team get what they want. And again, we have to always remember that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And this is again supporting. It goes down to you supporting your team, and they will judge you by what you do, but not what you preach. So remember that what you actions speaks louder than words, right? So again, good or bad, they will judge you by what you do and not by what you preach. So make sure everything that you do protects your credibility and also your reputation for your future business. And the next slide that we're going to talk about is check up from the neck up. My attitude is up, so up your attitude as well, right? And there was a saying that I heard a long time ago, and this connects to this part of the forensic upline is, your attitude defines your latitude, right? The higher you want to go in life is by your attitude. They say that it doesn't matter what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens to you is the most important thing, right? If you have a team, and if actually not a team, if you always have a good attitude about every situation, keep in mind, it could, when I go through something, one thing that I tell myself is it could have been worse, right? Which is true. There's always the next level of it could have been worse. So what that does is it helps me enhance my attitude to being positive and grateful that it wasn't bad. So your attitude defines your latitude. Have you ever met a leader or somebody that creates so significant wealth in their life, always negative, right? Um, to me, I have never, and I hope you have never, because again, the way we are towards people, the way we feel on a daily basis defines how our business is, because how we feel is um, correlates how we are going to act upon, right? So we want to make sure that whenever we are feeling negative or whatever, we have to make sure that we check up from the neck up. We got to make sure that our mindset is right for us to do a presentation. We want to make sure that our mindset is right to support our team, because when you come in with a great attitude, a great feeling of feeling good about yourself, about your team, it's going to uplift your business to the next level. That's why they say your attitude defines your latitude. Latitude, how far up you're going to go. So, and Ramin started a amazing culture with with his with the company, and also his past a company as well. When he was on the field, is that they were always excited and exhausted. So that's one thing that we see a lot within our companies. That what, we work hard, we're tired, but at the same time we're super excited to go to the next level, because every day it's a different day. Every day our business grows. So I hope you see that excitement, and I hope you are working hard enough to be at the same time exhausted in what you're doing, because it means you are working hard. Okay. And Maria, if you want to add something, please feel free to anytime.
Yes, it's really good because when I listen to you, it reminds me of like I have pictures and moments of being in GWC in the past 7 years, and it's funny how many times I heard this forensic networker, and every time I see how it applies in different situation that Ramin been talking about. So one of the things that I should say about this specific chapter, there's a specific distinction that you just talk about the attitude. I mean, you got to accept that the reason you're not a multi-million dollar earner in GWT and in network marketing or in your life is because of your attitude. That's the only reason. Our attitude and our behavior actually, and our mindset, the attitude is the result of mindset, is the reason we don't have the lifestyle that we want and we dream. That's the only reason. The only thing that holds us back in life is our attitude. If we knew everything right, and if we were doing everything right, if we had the perfect 100% right attitude, we would be a GWT millionaire or multi-million dollar earner. So when you get on the forensic networker and you get into network marketing, what I love about the industry so much that everybody from Reza and Renee to the member who joined yesterday, we all have weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. And we enter to the business with a lot of weaknesses and bad behaviors, weak and poor behaviors and mindset that stop us from being successful in life. Now, when you start building a business, a team, an empire, all those behaviors and attitude come to the surface, and your upline get to see it. Not all the upline, but the one who are strong and they actually have a lot of experience, like somebody like Ramin. He get to see the weaknesses, and he knows how to not make those weaknesses wrong, but help you to get over them. For example, the best example I can give you, one of my major weaknesses when I joined GWT was I was shy. Like, it would sound very funny to you guys to tell you that I was very shy to speak in front of people, and I didn't want to talk on the webinars. So this was a behavior and attitude that was very, very, very much stopping me from being successful in GWT. So he helped me and encouraged me and supported me to go over it by slowly, step by step, helping me to step up and start sharing my 2 minute story, and then start sharing, hosting the call. And then when I was more comfortable presenting it to my mom, presenting it to my sisters and brothers, and presenting it to small groups, and then presenting it in front of the room, presenting it on the webinar, and then slowly doing trainings, and then slowly become a public speaker. So the point is that whatever your weakness is, whether if it's being shy, for some people it's their ego. When they started to have some attention and some success, they're starting to build this ego. For some people, they don't have a very strong communication. For some people, I mean, there's so many weaknesses, and sometimes we actually don't see it it's in our blind spot. But you got to accept that you do have a lot of weaknesses. You do have a lot of things in your attitude and in your mindset and your behavior that actually is stopping you from having the life that you want. And when you enter GWT, you got to be open for your upline, for your forensic upline, for your CEO, to help you point on those weaknesses and help you get rid of them, face them, embrace them, and then get rid of them. Transform them, I want to say, to transform them. If you enter, I know Marshall was here last week, if you enter Ramin's, if you get a chance one day to be in Canada, and you get the privilege to be in the presence of our CEO, one of the things he would talk to you about constantly is your weakness. So I was in his office last couple of weeks with Marshall, and when we were talking about a few people in the company and some of the weaknesses that they have, that how the weaknesses need to be resolved, one of the things he would point out to you that, oh, you have this weakness too. So he actually keep pointing out on what is that you need to work on in your behavior, in your mindset, in your attitude, and those are the things that you need to work on, because those things holding you back from having success. So I love GWT and network marketing because it's like a university that you enter, and the more you build and the higher you grow, the more you get to learn more about yourself, see the things inside you that are holding you back from the life that you deserve to live. And there are people like Ramin who can actually help you to not only see them but also transform them to a greatness, to something great inside you. So and GWC is the place for that. So you got to be open to see yourself, let GWT, let your upline to be your mirror, help let them to help you to see those weaknesses that holding you back in life, and they help you, coach you to transform those weaknesses to something great. Okay, so and that's the best part of this business. Back to you, Marshall.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, guys, keep in mind, ego could be very expensive, right? And what I mean by that is that you can lose a lot of money by having a big ego. So make sure You always check up from the neck up that everything is good. You're in the right mindset whenever you do something, especially when you're with your team and your prospect. Again, after all, they're the ones that building, helping you bring in volume for your business. Volume equals income, right? So make sure you always are good, and again, your attitude defines your latitude in life. Next slide. Support all your team and not just the ones you personally enrolled. It's your team, it's your volume, it's your business, it's your paycheck, regardless of how deep the volume comes from. Right. So one thing that I want to talk about is when I talk, going back to Maria, when we had, when I met with Ramin about 2 weeks ago, he talks about, why do people, only support their pay leg, right? And to me, like it's funny because when we talk about, and I wish, and I hope, and I want each and every single one of you guys to understand that it doesn't matter what leg pays you or not. You got to make sure that you support them because all those volume for both of your team is actually coming to you. It helps you get paid out, right? So you want to make sure that you support every single member in your organization. It doesn't matter if they're 2,000 deep, 3,000 deep. Again, they are bringing you volume. Volume equals paycheck. Paycheck equals changing your life, living the life that you want, right? Because without them, you will have nothing. So always remember that. So like that's why with me, like and Maria and many people on our team, one thing I love is that we have this mod five and we always support each other regardless of how deep it is. Like when I got started in the business, right? I was in awe that Renee, Maria, Leor, Sherry, Tammy, Reza was supporting me. Like what? Like I'm like thousands and thousands of members under you guys. Like how do you even support me? It's because of our culture, right? Because they don't see us as our pay leg or our bigger leg or whatever. They see us that what, this is one of my clients, this is one of my LCs. They're bringing me volume. So the best thing that I can do is support them, right? Regardless if they personally sponsor me or not. So you have to make sure you have the same attitude with your business that regardless of which team, if you personally sponsor them or not, that's your responsibility as a forensic upline to support your business. After all, this is your business. Remember that. And next slide goes down to do not cripple the ability of your new member. Everyone has the same daily method operations, so you are there to guide them, not to do it for them. When I got started, Maria can definitely talk about this. I tried to do everything for everyone, right? Because I wanted to make sure that they are sustainable correctly. But again, I never gave them the opportunity to do for themselves because I cared so much about their success. But that actually crippled my business, and the reason why is because I overwhelmed myself, I overworked myself, right? By continuously doing the basics for everyone, right? But then I understood, after Sanaz told me one day, Marshall, you are fired, right? I'm sure Maria still remember that. Sanaz said, you are fired to do all these things. Now let your team do it on themselves. And when I started to realize that, my business exploded to the next level, right? Because I let them grow now on their own terms, right? I let them experience what they have to experience as a luxury consultant and as a business owner, right? And keep in mind, guys, like this says, everyone has the same daily method operation, so you are there to guide them, but not to do it for them. Direct sales is not brain surgery, and everyone who shows interest in our amazing industry can actually learn what they need to know to launch within a few weeks or even less. So work with them and not for them, right? We are in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. So we want to make sure that we have the right duplication going on within the team for them to be self-sufficient. So I remembered, when I first got started, I was on a call with Leor. My third time being on a three-way call with him, he wasn't there. He was super busy. And then that's when I had to really step up. And that's when I realized, what? I have to be self-sufficient, right? Because I can't always rely on my fire for everything that I do. I have to take responsibility for my own business, right? And I'm so, like, when I look back on it, I'm so grateful that he was busy that day, because it helped me grow to a different level. It helped me grow to a different level in my business, and I started to figure things out on my own, right? Because of what he did. And I'm super grateful for that, because I've learned how to be self-sufficient, and now, being self-sufficient, I'm able to teach my team to be self-sufficient as well. So yeah. So Maria, do you have anything to add on to this?
Um, no, I think you're doing great. This chapter is a little bit long. I don't know if we have the time to this chapter. I suggest if we continue this chapter next week, Saturday. But what I would like to do, take a few minutes, Marshall, and talk about the goal setting. We call them target setting or promise setting for 2016. We don't call it goals because we don't want our targets and promises in GWT become the New Year resolution. You know, the New Year resolution, people, it's funny because I was just going through my Facebook and I see a lot of people posting stuff about their businesses. And these are the people normally I see their posts and they never talk about their business. They never talk about the stuff that they want to accomplish in their life. And now here's the second day of, is it the first or second day of New Year? And I see a lot of different posts, many posts about their business, how the kind of weight they want to have. So, you know, and this is going to go for a month or two, and then by March or by April, you're going to see that they completely forget about it. They forget about their New Year resolution, the New Year goals that they want to have for 2016. So we don't want our targets, we don't want our goals for the year to be a New Year resolution. We don't want it to be only alive for a month or two, and then by the third and fourth months we completely forget about it. So we call it target. We want you guys to write down your targets, and we want you guys to write down to have your targets written down and put it somewhere visual that you can actually see it. But if you could put them on a board or you could put them on a mirror that you can see it every day. We already did a target setting sessions in previous weeks before we enter 2016, but I still want you guys to take a look to expand that targets that you created for 2016, expand it for the next 5 years. I did an exercise. I was listening to one of the personal development leaders and did an exercise writing the targets or goals for the next 5 to 10 years. And one of the things he said was if you start writing your targets from the next 10 years, so write down the years from now until 2026. That's 10 years from now. And then in 2026, how old are you going to be? And by that age, what kind of life would you like to have? What do you want to see? So when I did the calculation, I would be around 40, 41 by in 10 years, and I write down what do I want to see in my life by age 41, 2026. I wrote down the whole list, and then you want to break it down and come back in the next 9 years. What do you want to accomplish in 9 years? What do you want to accomplish in 8 years? In front of every year, write down the things that you want to be accomplishing, and then break it down, come back to the year 2016. So when you split the things that you want to see in the next 10 years and then you break it down, come back from the future to the present, then everything become more doable and easier, and it make you more committed to your targets, because you have now 10 years to accomplish all that list that you put in front of 2026. There is a very good distinction about this. I always remember this. A leader was saying that when you're standing in at the bottom of the mountain, the mountain looks so high that you don't know how you're going to get there. It looks a lot of work. It looks so high. You don't know if you're going to make it. All that stuff, right? You get afraid. You get upset. You see it impossible. And while you're climbing up, somewhere halfway, you might actually give up, right? Now, if you stand on and look down, you're gonna see you're gonna see it's easier that you're gonna come up to the mountain, and you're gonna see more than one way to get to the top of the mountain. So the point is that when you want to write your goals and your promises and your targets, instead of going from now to the future, try to visual and see yourself in the future and look back. Okay, and so if you get to the top of the mountain, let's say in 10 years or 5 years, what would you like to see if you're in the next 5 years? What would you like to see in your life? It's 2026, it's 2018, it's 2020. What do you see in your life? And now from there, work backward to now. So it's very, very powerful when you do that, and you get to create miracles because then everything looks easier to be accomplished, and you get to be more committed when you see yourself in the future and then working it backward to the present. So that's a tip about target setting for 2016. I would like to, for this week of the first week of 2016, I would like to give my targets for the week. I already have written my targets for the next 10 years, and I'm really excited. And then I came back and I wrote it for the next year. And now wrote it back for the next 12 months, and then the next 8 months, and 6 months, and 2 months, and next month, and then next week. So for the next week, I'm looking forward to do 5 presentation, 5 tours for people, for 5 prospects, sign them up as VIP, and follow up with them and do 3-way calls, and let's see if how many, and then I will follow up with previous weeks to see how many people will join the business. I'm really excited about that. Tomorrow night is the very, very important call. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the mega webinar. It's a big announcement, a big webinar of the year, the most important webinar of the year by our CEO and Vice President. Many things will be launched and announced tomorrow night. Do not miss it. Make sure you're on that webinar tomorrow night. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Try to be up and be on this webinar, because this webinar will change your life and change your 2016 completely. So with that, back to you, Marshall.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, your goals with us. Actually, your promises with us. I correct my vocabulary. So, yeah, that's one of the great things, right? 2016. Why you had to ask yourself why do you want to become successful global world trade, right? So your whys is going to determine your drive and your motivation each and every single day to put in the work that you need to put in for you to live the life that you've always have imagined. So there's actually 2 more slides that we have to go over, and I think if you guys have some time, I'm gonna finish the last 2 slides for the forensic upline. Okay, so this is actually one very exciting for me, because this is actually what we're planning to do in the next month, right? When you open a new market, you must commit to travel there regularly. And I'm so excited that I'll be going to Europe, hopefully a few times a year, especially when it's colder in Minnesota. And we have to, and this part of the chapter, it talks about, we have to involve all your qualified uplines to provide support on the phone, online, and occasion trips when the volume builds, right? The fact that Europe is blowing up right now, it's my duty, it's my responsibility to go over and support you guys. It's also Maria's responsibility, and also your Mod5's responsibility to go over and support the European market. If I cannot be there, when you cannot be there, be available to be on the phone with them after every tour. So again, whenever you guys have a tour, I do know that we have different time zones. So make sure you are in communication with your My5s for us. So because in order for us to support you, you have to let us know how to support you, right? Hey, I have a prospect that's going to watch this tour at this time. Can you do a Skype call with me? Can you do a 3-way call with me? Can you do a Facebook chat? Okay. So this is very essential to building new markets. So especially if you are in Europe, I do know that different countries are next to each other. If you have time and if they bring in volume, keep in mind, if they are bringing the numbers and the volume, you must be there to help build the market, also sustain your market, and make sure you train them accordingly so they can sustain their market on their own will. And the last chapter of the forensic upline is don't abuse your business or take it for granted. We have to nourish, cherish, and support our organization all the time. After all, our organization gives us income, right? And for example, is if you have a traditional business like a restaurant or a spa, etc., every client will be greeted and treated nicely when they visit, right? Right. So when you take a look at your organization, people that are on the monthly inventory account, they're buying and selling products each month. You have to look at that as an asset and a client that you need to treat and greet nicely to keep them coming back every single month. So it's the same mindset. Your organization is basically your clients in your traditional business. Okay, so make sure you have the same mindset. Okay, and the last part kind of goes over the conclusion of the forensic upline. Make sure to nourish the life of your business with new blood. As Ramin says, if you want a huge organization, you always have to have new blood coming in each and every single day, every single week, every single month, and every single year. Right? Imagine if every single person on your team sponsors one new LC a week, right? It's going to create an inferno in your business. Let's just focus on that. If one or two LCs a week, right? And if everybody in your team focuses on that, it's going to double, triple your organization so fast you wouldn't even know how to comprehend it. Okay. And the second part is cherish your members who generate business volume for you with their monthly purchases and sales. Make sure you take care of every single person on your team that's active, that's bringing in you volume. And again, keep in mind, they are your business. They're giving you income for you to live the lifestyle that you always have dreamt of. And lastly, support all members in your team and not just the ones you consider important because you just don't know who will get it done and hit a home run and put thousands of assets on your printout. Again, support, support, support. And and I can't comprehend how important this is, right? When you have a team, you always make sure that you're always going to be there for them. If you can't, make sure you let your my five know, hey, I can't be, I can't do this three-way. Can you support me in this? Right? This is why we are here. We want to support as many people as we can, and and I love our culture. And the forensic upline, if you're able to master this chapter in your organization, you're going to have a tremendous business because it's going to create a huge culture within your organization to be the uh, the greatest forensic upline, the best upline you could ever be, and also your team will duplicate that, and you're going to have an amazing business. So that's all for today. The Forensic Networker training, and I can't wait for us to do a new chapter next week. And I hope you guys took down notes. If you missed anything, I actually have this whole training recorded, and we'll get this uploaded to you. And another question, Maria, not question, but another update. We're actually finalizing our trip to Europe, so we're super excited about that, and we will let you guys know the dates within the following week. So anything else to share, Maria, before we end this call?
No, I love this chapter. I really love the chapter. Every time I listen to it and I learn and read and I learn new things. So we are to cherish and support and nourish the team. We are coming to Italy and Germany. We already told you. Switzerland, we told you. Spain, we told you. Bring in the numbers. You still have a month. Give us a reason to be there. So we are open to it, but we want to give you a challenge to meet. Bring in the numbers, and we're looking forward to be in Germany, in Switzerland, and in Spain, or any other parts of Europe that you are located or you have team members. You bring in the numbers, we will be there. So I'm really excited. We are going to finalize and release the flyer with dates and times and locations in Rome. We're going to start with Rome, and then. We're excited to be there. So I'm looking forward to see your stories. Send me your stories. We're gonna edit your stories. Looking forward to meet you guys. We're all going to see you tomorrow night on the mega webinar. Don't forget. And next week on the next webinar, on the next forensic webinar. Back to you, Marshall. I don't know if Christine has any announcement to make.
Sounds good. Christine, could you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Back to you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for that great training. I just kept lagging out, but I'll always try again. So that's why I'm here. That's great that you can hear me right now, and I love the training that you have, Marshall, and also all of your advices, Maria. I'm just like doing while we are listening to the training, we are already sharing our targets for what you have said before, 10 years from now, and I'm really excited, really to attack it, just like Romina said. Um, we do have some questions. Do we still have time to answer the questions, Marshall, Maria?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Sure. Okay, great. So Gloria has a question. I will unmute you, Gloria, so you can share and ask your question. Do you hear me?
Oh yeah, hello Christine, hello Maria and Marshall,
Hi, Gloria. How are you? Happy New Year's.
and Happy New Year's. I have a question because I have a downline and I try to send them messages and call 2 to 3 times a week, but they don't get I don't get any answer, no replies, nothing. So what should I do that? Because I like to support them. How can I support them?
Great question, Gloria. When we enter GWT, we do have an upline pledge. You just try to follow that upline pledge, and the upline pledge is in your back office. We should actually put that in the back office. I'm not sure if it's in the back office, but it's part of GWT system. There's a part of the upline pledge says you give your 25%, I give my 25%. You give your 50%, I give my 50%. You give your 100%, I give my 200%. Okay, so that's what the upline pledge is, and then it says the part that there's another part that explains that I'm not going to drag you, I'm not going to chase you. So you don't want to be the upline who chasing and dragging people. What you do want to do is when they enter, this is one of the main reasons we tell people when you sponsor a new member, you want to put them in all the groups, put them in GWT family, put them in Millionaires by Design, connect them to their My5. And when you're connected in the Millionaire by Designs, in the Forensic Networker, in the GWT family, and they are connected to their upline, when they are ready, they will contact one of us. So the point is that they are in the loop, and it's just a matter of when they're ready and when they're going to get inspired. So you don't have to keep calling them and messaging them and chasing and dragging them. They are in the loop. They are in the world of the business. They see all the posts, they see all the webinars, they see all the recorded webinars, they see all the links, they see the upline are excited, they see our posts, they're connected, they add us on their Facebook. They get to watch us, the things that we're doing. They get to watch the activities in the community, regardless of they're participating or they're not participating. When they are ready, when finally life put them in a position that they're ready and they need to build a business, they will go back to that community, they will go back to that, they will click on that group, Forensic Networker, GWT family, Millionaire by Design, they see all the posts and they will reach out to you or one of the upline. Okay, you don't want to be the one chasing and dragging people. Now, if you don't add them to those groups, what's going to happen is when they're ready, they might, I mean, when life put them in a position that they need a business and they need to build this business, they will completely forget about GWT because they actually don't see any reminder anywhere. They're not in the community.
Yeah,
Okay,
they are.
so
Yeah.
so
I
as long
think they will to the GWT family, GWT Germany, and to all links of the GWT.
okay,
Also, I
perfect.
give them the My5.
As long as they're connected to their My5, they're added to all the groups, that's good enough. You want to wait when you put the member in the business, connect them, do your first job, which is connect them to all the groups, connect them to their My5, connect them to the back office, to the information, have them write their My5. But at that moment, after you connect them to the system and to the upline, you have to give them task, and you only get back to them when they get back to you. So what I do, I tell them to write down your 3 reasons why you joined GWT, the 3 whys. What do you want GWT to do for you? And also write down your list. If they don't come back with their why and with the list, I have nothing to do. I mean, I've done my job. I connected them to the training, I connected them to the My5, I add them to the community, and I give them the task. Remember, you do 25%, I do 25%. I give them the task, they come back with the task. Did you do your your three whys? Yes. Did you do your list? Yes. Okay, great. Now you have to do your next 25. So your next 50%. So the next 50% is to have them learn the approach and a script. So then I teach them the approach and the script, and then I practice with them the approach, the script, and then I tell them go and call those people and book the appointment, okay, for me. Now they have to come back with appointments for me. If they don't come back with appointments for me, I'm not going to chase them and drag them, okay? So you always give task and you wait for them to come back. You do not lecture, you do not keep training them, you do not keep calling them every day. Do not do that. You do send whenever there is a weekly call, there is a webinar, there's weekly call, there's boot camp. You send a mass text message to the whole team and make sure they're included. Okay?
Okay,
Text
thank
message,
you very much, Maria.
text message to the whole team and make sure they're included so they get to see it. You don't need to call, chase, or drag a person who's not ready to build a business.
Okay, thank you very, very much.
Any more questions, Christy?
We do have a question, I think, from Mark Jason. He's asking, okay, thanks, Maria, Marshall, Christine. Happy New Year. Does the training have a replay? Yes, we have recorded the webinar. As for now, there we have Thompson Paul raising his hand. Thompson, you are unmuted from our side. Please unmute yourself so that we can hear you. Okay. So I think that's all. I don't know, Thompson, about the internet connection, but from the questions, that's all. So, are you still there? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. I thought I just lost you again. So that's for the training for tonight, forensic webinar training. I'm really excited. I'm really thankful for that training as well from Ambassador Marshall and from our regional ambassador Maria. I can't wait to have you here in Germany. We are just really doing we are already planning for our weekly live tours to have here in our city so that we have really expand and make a big bang for 2016. As for another reminder for our special mega webinar call that we are going to have on Sunday, January 3rd, tomorrow. That is 9 p.m. Toronto time. For here in Europe, that would be 3 a.m. Europe time, Germany, Italy, Spain. So get your alarm clock already and put it a few minutes before 3 o'clock to wake up and really be on that call with your team. As for me and my team, we are doing a Skype call while we are listening to the webinar. So that's what I can recommend you as well. And this is a super, super exciting call that we were going to have our CEO Ramin and Sanaz and our CTO Ninad on the call, and I just can't wait to hear and listen to all of those exciting news that we are going to be on the call. So register for it and can't wait already. So Maria,
I have an exciting news for you. We actually had a conversation with our CEO and Vice President about the time zone. We realized that the time zone might not work for everybody in Europe and Nigeria to be on the call at 3 a.m. So guess what? We are going to have another call on Monday, 9 p.m. with and CEO, and they're going to actually duplicate and do again the announcements. So if you could make it tomorrow night at 3 a.m. your time, European time, 9 p.m. Canadian time. If you could be on the announcement, great, from the European team. But if most of you guys are working and you have a job to go the next day, and you might not be able 3 a.m. to be up, that's fine. On Monday night at 9 p.m., we are going to have the special call for Nigeria and Europe, making 2016 announcement with our CEO and Vice President.
Wow, wow, wow! That's really exciting. I can't wait already. But I'm going to be on the both both webinars. But so you have heard already, people team. You have heard that we are all also having 9 p.m. Monday night. Europe time is it, right, Maria?
Yes,
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Yes.
9 p.m. guys call it 21 Europe time, and on Monday night.
Awesome, awesome. So, where do we get the link? Will it be posted on the chat room so that we can already promote it?
Yes, we're not going to be sending the Europe link yet, just because we don't confuse people with different links. So we're gonna, right now, the only link that we're gonna promote is tomorrow night, 9 p.m. time, for whoever can attend. And then as soon as that call is completed, then we're gonna send the next link for 9 p.m. European time.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you as well, Marshall, for doing that great presentation. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think it was a great call. Already went over an hour and a half, so I'm really excited. Thank you so much, Marshall, for the great training. Don't miss these weekly calls. These forensic calls will keep you up and help you to build a business. Looking forward to see you on the mega webinar and then on the next weekly call. Bye, Christine.
Woohoo! Thank you very much, and also wish you a great evening and happy New Year again. And thank you also, Marshall, for presenting this call. And can't wait to have you again next week, Saturday, 4 p.m. for the forensic call. But first thing is for tomorrow, the mega webinar call. So thank you, everyone. Good
Thank
night.
you. Happy New Year's. We'll
Good
see you
night.
guys on the call, the mega webinar.
Woohoo! Bye bye.